Hi everyone, Melissa B. Duarte here. Today we're going to tackle essential business English collocations. Collocations are words that naturally go together, and there are no rules with collocations. You just have to learn them. And collocations are paramount. Paramount means incredibly important or the most important in business English because they're used in almost every single conversation, in almost every single report, almost every single presentation. Collocations are essential. So I'm going to go through and break down collocations in different categories, different scenarios: decision making, time management, working with people, small talk. I'm going to break down these collocations in all different scenarios and situations, and there'll be lots of collocations in there for you to learn and work with. With these collocations, I'm going to teach you the collocations, give you a lot of examples. So you really want to train your ear to putting these words together because, again, there's no rules. And a lot of us are really busy. We don't have time to sit and write something 25 times to remember it. So I'm going to go through, give you lots of examples of each of these collocations. Of course, you can always go down into the comments of the video, and I will pin a PDF of all of these collocations which I'm using, so you can upload it to your computer, or you can print it off and work with it and study it. However, at the end of this video, I am going to give you a little quiz with all these collocations. So make sure you watch to the very end. Quiz yourself, test your retention from the collocations which I've taught you, and any ones that are tricky you didn't get, then just rewind and work them again. Go back to the quiz and make sure you've got them all right, and keep watching until you get it 100%. And then you would have locked in those collocations, and you're one step ahead of many other English speakers who are learning English as their second language. Now, again, with collocations, they are tricky, they're not easy, and this is something that's difficult for even advanced level speakers. So if you're working in English, if you're doing business with different countries, working with global teams, if you're looking to emigrate, even passing a test to immigrate, collocations are going to be a big part of your learning. So let's make sure you know all these collocations. Let's jump right in. Okay, let's jump right in with collocations for time management. The first one you probably know. However, it's one thing to hear a collocation and say, I understand that. It's another thing to say it and get it right and remember the right collocation. So what I'm going to do with these, I'm going to read you the collocation, give you a bunch of examples, tell you some common mistakes. A really great idea to lock in learning is when you hear me say something, repeat it. And again, at the end of this video, I'm going to have a little bit of a quiz for you. I'm going to have little gaps in all these collocations, and you have to think of the right word that goes in. Again, listening is a heck of a lot easier in English than speaking it. So again, if some of these are not new for you, just make sure you're practicing them to make sure that you're actually speaking fluently next time and not throwing in the right collocation. It really is a big part of upper intermediate and even advanced level ESL studies is your collocations. They're so easy to mix up and get wrong. Okay, first one here is manage your time. To manage your time means you organize how you use your time and the hours you have effectively and efficiently. So manage your time just means you know what time you have for something and you do manage it and organize it in a good way. So manage your time, some examples here. It's important to manage your time well when working remotely. Right, so we all have probably had experience during the COVID working remotely. So it's very important to manage your time. Sometimes you may work more if you're working remotely. You don't have those set hours. Sometimes you may work less remotely because you don't have your boss standing behind you and monitoring you. So it's important to manage your time well when working remotely. This means organize your time, set a structure for your time. Next one, she struggled to manage her time between work and family. So again, she struggled to organize her time between work and family, the whole work-life balance. So if you leave work and you go home and you're still checking your messages, well, you're not managing your time. And if you go to work and you're sending memes to your best friend, or you're looking at videos on mountain bikes, or you're talking with your wife or friends or kids and it's not an emergency, you're not managing your time. So it's important to manage your time between work and family. Next one, effective leaders know how to manage their time wisely. And this is very true. An effective leader will get a project on his desk or her desk, and they'll go, okay, this is how much time it's going to take. This is how much time it's going to take for each of these people. And they can really plan and have a bird's eye view of from beginning to end of this project, and they can really organize and structure how much time is needed and who needs to work on what and how long it will take. So that's managed time. Some common examples here of mistakes that people often make is control your time. We simply do not say control your time at all. We say manage your time. So sometimes control your time could work, but in a very, very, very small situation, if you're a concert pianist and you're playing piano and you only have 25 minutes on the stage. Well, your song takes 23 minutes. You can take 2 minutes of applause and get off the stage. So control your time, which means closely monitor your time. Not so common in business English, not so common in regular English. So you can sometimes hear control your time. It's really not common. You want to manage your time. Next one is direct your time. Of course, this is a mistake. Direct is a synonym for manage. We know that. He directs a team in Berlin. He manages a team in Berlin. Fine. But direct your time does not work at all. It does not collocate. In English, it's manage your time. Okay. And again, remember at the end of this video, I'm going to have a quiz for you. So as you pay attention to these, you can bookmark the time and then go through and do the very end quiz. Any difficulty you have, come back and rewatch it. Okay, next one is save time. So this means to do something efficiently. You're not wasting time and you're taking less time of something. Let me read you the examples I have here. Using templates can save time when writing reports. Okay, so when you're writing a report, if you have to create the whole layout and the design of the report, well, that's going to take a lot longer than putting just the content in. So if you have a template, you just pop in the information. So using templates can save time when writing reports. A big mistake that a lot of students I hear make is they say it can spare time. Now, spare time, spare in that sentence is a verb, and doesn't mean to save time necessarily here. Spare time together is a noun and it means extra time. Do you have any spare time this evening to have a quick chat? Which means, do you have any available time that's not booked? Spare time is available time that's not booked. So a very common mistake, people will say spare time, and no, it's save time. So save time is to do something more efficiently, not wasting time. Spare time means like extra time. Okay. Another example here with save time. Automation saves time and reduces errors. Okay, so you automate something at work, it saves time. You're not having to pay someone to go through it and check everything. It can save time and it can be more productive. Another one is we introduced a new system to save time in production. So maybe you work in manufacturing and maybe you're making pens. Again, all my examples are either going to be pens or restaurants. This is what I do. So maybe you're manufacturing pens and you have to have a real person put the cap on the pen and apply the cap. Well, maybe you were able to get a new piece of equipment that could then put the cap on itself, and you're saving time in production. It takes a millisecond to put that cap on, so you're saving time. So that's a really important one. I mean, how do you save time in your work? I mean, I think for all of us to save time is working online. You save time. You're saving your time commuting. Commuting is that regular drive you have to and from work or school, just so you know. And that could be a noun. My commute is an hour, or my commute is 30 minutes, or I commute as a verb 1 hour to school every day, or 1 hour to work every day, or 1 hour each way. And that's commuting. So a lot of us work online and we are able to save time by not traveling to work. So there you go. That's a good example. Okay, next one is waste time. Now, this is important. A lot of students I hear say lose time, and you don't lose time. That's not right. Or to use useless time. You don't use useless time. That's simply incorrect. You waste time. And waste time is you're not using your time effectively, or you're using it on unimportant things. Very inefficient usage of time. Some examples here are We are wasting time discussing minor details. Okay, we've all been in those meetings, and the meeting has an agenda, and the meeting should take 30 minutes. But for whatever reason, the meeting is taking 1 hour because you're discussing things that don't are not even a part of that meeting. It's a discussion between two people that could be their own discussion. Why are 8 people sitting here listening to them talk? We've all been there in meetings. So this is to waste time. This is waste time. So we're wasting time discussing minor details. Minor details can be dealt with later. This is a big high level meeting. High level means top and advanced. So all the most important information and all the smaller details, we'll get to those later. So to waste time is you're not using your time wisely. Next one, don't waste time arguing about this. Okay, so in business in the staff room, okay, someone wants decaf coffee, someone wants regular coffee, someone wants Starbucks coffee, and they're sitting around the staff room discussing what is the best, and then HR comes in. Well, don't waste time, talking about this. This is a waste of time. Don't waste time talking about this or discussing this. I'll bring in all three. Go back to work. So you're just kind of not using your time wisely. Go back to work. Another one, he wasted time browsing social media during work. I mean, we've all been there with our phones, and you go onto Instagram or go onto social media. And I mean, I remember one time I watched a video, and I think this guy showed like 50 different ways to cut a watermelon. And I don't even like watermelon. That's like one thing about me. I actually hate watermelon. But I watched this video for like 30 minutes on different ways to cut watermelon. And it was the biggest waste of my time. I totally wasted my time. I got sucked in. We all do. We're all guilty of it. I'm not going to feel bad. Okay, let's continue. Now, we can't talk about time management without talking about deadlines. So the next couple I have for you are about deadlines. Let's continue to them. Here we go. The first one is to meet a deadline. So a lot of students make a mistake saying make a deadline, reach a deadline, complete a deadline. All of those are incorrect. You absolutely do not reach a deadline, complete a deadline, or make a deadline. You meet a deadline. So to meet a deadline, it means you finish the work required by a required date. That's it. So we can't meet the deadline, or we have no problem meeting the deadline, or phew, we met the deadline. I'll give you some examples here. Okay, we need to meet the deadline for the client report. So there's a deadline Friday at 4 o'clock, and it's crucial. We need to meet the deadline for the client report. They're expecting it. And if we don't meet the deadline, the client will be upset and we will not look good. Next one, she always meets her deadline. So this is when you're doing a performance review, or you're looking at different staff members who's strong or who's maybe should be up for promotion. So she always meets her deadlines. Pamela's fantastic. She always meets her deadlines. It means she never, ever misses a deadline. That's the next one I'm going to have for you there. So if someone always meets their deadlines, they do the work when it's expected. It's fantastic. Or the team worked late to meet the deadline. So I noticed you came home really late last night, or I noticed that the team was in the office until 8 o'clock, or I noticed the team was logged on to the server until midnight last night. Oh yeah, the team worked late to meet the deadline. So you work late to meet the deadline. So you have to have that submitted by midnight on the 3rd of January. And then if you have until that's your deadline. If you meet the deadline, you're going to work late to make sure you do not miss the deadline. So down to the next one is miss the deadline. This is the opposite of meet a deadline. So if you miss a deadline, a lot of students, again, make the mistake. They say forget a deadline or lose a deadline. No, you miss a deadline. You meet a deadline or you miss a deadline. Now, when it comes down to miss a deadline, I'll give you some examples here. Missing a deadline can damage your reputation, of course, right? So if performance reviews are coming up, or you're working with a client and you promise something by a certain time and you send it a day later without any justification, without any notification, you just simply miss a deadline, it's going to damage your reputation. So missing a deadline, bad. Meeting a deadline, good. So you know that. Next one, he missed the deadline for tax submission. So he wanted to file his taxes. He was looking for some reimbursement, looking for some tax breaks. But if you miss the deadline, you're not able to do it. So the deadline, and it's closed, and after that, nothing's available. So he missed the deadline. Again, he would not lose a deadline. That is wrong. It's miss a deadline. And the team missed a deadline due to technical issues. If you've ever been there where you had to upload something to meet a deadline, but there was Wi-Fi issues, technical issues, server issues, computer issues, what electrical issues, whatever issues you had, you could miss a deadline for those reasons, and that's awful because it's not your fault. It's in the fault of something else and something technical, and that's very frustrating. So there you go. Okay, next one is not about deadlines, but it's about priorities. So in time management, you want to set priorities. So a common mistakes here is make priorities or do priorities. No and no. In English, make priorities does not collocate. Do priorities does not collocate. Absolutely not. You set priorities. And set means deciding where your tasks go on your list, like to rank something. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You're going to set priorities. You're going to decide which tasks are priority and in what order they go in. So you set priorities. I'm sure if you're working, you have to set your priorities every day, right? You open your laptop or you log in to your chats, and you have 1,000 things you need to get done in one day. Well, you can't do them all at once. You're going to automatically set priorities. You're going to do the most important ones first. This is common, but again, you don't make priorities or do priorities. You set priorities. Of course, the verb is prioritize. That's fine. You can prioritize, but you prioritize something, one thing. So I need to prioritize this. So one thing. So the manager wants a report ASAP. Fine. The manager wants a report ASAP. That I will prioritize that. But that's just one thing. So when you have a bunch of things to do, that's not your only job for the day. I'm sure you have other work to do. They need to set priorities. And that one would be number one. Okay, so set priorities is decide which tasks are most important. So not just one. Okay, let me read you some examples here. Good managers set priorities for their team. Absolutely. So you have a team, and the manager comes in saying, listen, we need to work on this, and this week. And a good manager will say, listen, this is number one. This is number two. This is number three. This is number four. If you have time, do number five. If you can't do it, fine. We'll push it to the next week. So a good manager sets priorities for their team. So they'll actually say, these are your priorities. Another one, she set her priorities before starting the day. I've always admired people. I mean, a lot of people will literally get up in the morning, they'll have their cup of coffee or their tea, and they'll sit there with their phone or a piece of paper and a pen, and they will write their priorities for the day. I think you guys are amazing. I wish I could do that. I've tried, but I'm not consistent with it. But people who do set their priorities before starting their day, I mean, they're very successful and they do very well. So good for you if you do that. Fantastic. To set your priorities for the day. Another one, we must set our priorities for this project. So if you have a project that has so many different elements, and again, the deadlines are pretty tight, so you have to make sure you don't miss the deadline. You must meet the deadline. So you have to set your priorities for this project. What are you going to prioritize as number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and what could be kind of maybe pushed off? So set your priorities. Okay, so how can we talk about time management without talking about schedule? Schedule. Now take a look at the pronunciation of that. British English, the pronunciation often is schedule. Schedule. North American pronunciation, schedule. Schedule. So that's a difficult word to pronounce for many students because, of course, it's English, and of course, the spelling does not match the pronunciation. So schedule. Schedule. Okay, so let's take a look at collocations with schedule in regards to time management. First one is stick to a schedule. Post-it note. A post-it note, wherever you put it, it's going to stick. Stick. Stick means to adhere to, glue to. So to stick to a schedule means to follow a planned timetable, a planned schedule, a planned timeline. That's to stick to a schedule. So I'll give you some examples here. It's hard to stick to a schedule with so many meetings. We've all been there, where you have a lot of work to do throughout the day, but you have a meeting, a meeting, a meeting, a meeting, and a meeting. And when on earth do you have time to actually do your real work? So it's hard to stick to a schedule with so many meetings happening, right? So your day is full with meetings. How do you stick to all your deadlines and your schedule of other work you need to do when you have so many meetings thrown in? So that's an example there, which unfortunately a lot of us do have a lot more meetings than we do actually have productive work sometimes in the day, and it's difficult to stick to a schedule. Next one here is he stuck to his schedule and finished on time. Okay, so we talked before about time management, organizing your time. If you do organize your time well, you stick to a schedule. So here he stuck to his schedule to finish on time. So he met a deadline because he stuck to his schedule. He organized his time, he stuck to his schedule, and he was able to meet the deadline. Or we should stick to the schedule we'd agreed on. So you're in a planning meeting and someone goes, you know what, I think we need another 2 weeks. Let's talk to the client, see if we can deliver the product 2 weeks later. And maybe the sales manager goes, listen, we should stick to the schedule we agreed on. This client is not very open to pushing deadlines. Or if you want to maybe make a deadline a little bit shorter, saying, listen, it would be really great to finish this before everyone takes a break for the Christmas and New Year's holidays. Let's try to get this deadline done before December 15th. And maybe the deadline was supposed to be finished by December 31st, the project. So someone can try to kind of push the deadline, and someone could say, listen, let's stick to the schedule that we agreed on. We've already put everything in place, everything's organized. So let's just follow the schedule that we have in place. Some common mistakes there, again, with stick, people often do put in glue. Glue. So, but you can't say that in English. You don't glue a schedule, you stick to a schedule. You could adhere to a schedule. It's a really, really formal. It's fine for business English, but really only formal environments. It's a lot more common to say stick to a schedule. Adhere is almost too formal to be used in most business contexts. It's fine, but it's quite formal. So stick to a schedule is much better. And follow a schedule. That's a common one too. To follow a schedule means you're going to follow everything. That's okay. But sometimes students make a mistake saying follow to a schedule or follow by a schedule. Absolutely no preposition is needed there. Just follow a schedule. But what's even stronger is stick to a schedule. Follow kind of just means that you're following something. And if you stick to it, you're stuck to it. You're not moving from it. So it's a lot stronger saying to stick to a schedule. Okay, next one was schedule. Fall behind schedule. Fall behind schedule. Now, this is really important. A lot of students make a mistake saying go behind schedule, miss a schedule, or lose a schedule. All of those are incorrect. Of course, they make sense. People will understand you, but your English is not good, and it's really going to bring down your level of English and the people who are listening to you. So you fall behind schedule. When you say fall behind schedule, think of like a marathon, a race, and two racers are running. And if one person's getting tired, well, he just falls behind the other person. So to fall behind schedule is nice. It's a way of saying I'm behind schedule, but this is not because I'm not trying. I planned to be on schedule and my progress is just slower than I planned. So, this happens all the time. Not everything is on schedule. Things do fall behind schedule. So if you do need to bring up to a meeting, bring up to your manager, bring up to your client, bring up to your suppliers, whoever you're working with, that you are not on schedule, you are behind schedule. You say, we fell behind schedule. And it doesn't mean that we're not working hard. It doesn't mean this project is not priority. It just means progress is slower than planned. And we didn't anticipate this. And we're working really hard. So it's a really great way to say, oh yeah, we're not going to meet the deadline. We're going to miss the deadline. We fell behind schedule. And it kind of means by saying we fell behind schedule, you're not really putting ownership or onus on yourself. You're saying we fell behind schedule. This is a schedule we fell behind for whatever situation or whatever reason. So I'll give you some examples here. We fell behind schedule due to supply delays. Okay, so again, you're working in manufacturing and you're waiting for all your raw materials to come in, all your parts to come in. Well, you're relying on a lot of different suppliers and a lot of different products to come in. So if a supply delay happens, you're going to fall behind schedule. It's not because you're not ready. It's not because you're not working. It's not because you're not organized. You fell behind schedule because of this issue. Another one here is she fell behind a schedule after being sick. So this happens if you go on holiday and you come back to work. If someone doesn't do your work while you're gone, your work can build up and then you've really fallen behind schedule. So she fell behind schedule after being sick or being on holiday. Or unfortunately, you're sick. Sometimes you're off work for 3 days. And in 3 days, sometimes depending on your job, a lot of work can build up in 3 days. And so you come back to work after being sick and you are behind schedule, but you fell behind schedule. It's not really because of something you necessarily did. This happened. The schedule just kind of went ahead of you and you fell behind. So it's quite powerful, this collocation, to fall behind schedule. It really does not put the reason for falling behind schedule necessarily on you or your abilities. So it's quite strong. The construction fell behind schedule. So let's say we're building a new office, and for whatever reason, construction fell behind schedule. There was a concrete strike. There were new government laws for building in the area. There were budget cuts. There was bad weather. There was a storm. So for whatever reason, construction fell behind schedule. And again, it's not because someone wasn't doing their job necessarily. It's just these um, peripheral elements that something kind of made something else fall behind schedule. It's very powerful here. And again, you don't want to say lose schedule or go behind schedule at all. Just you fall behind schedule. Okay, next one is positive, ahead of schedule. Okay, now a lot of people will make this mistake. A lot of students make this mistake. They say before schedule. Not correct at all in English. You're ahead of schedule. It just means you're finishing earlier than expected, or you're at a point in what you've planned or your project or your task, and you're at a point before you expected to be at that point. So this is fantastic. If you're ahead of schedule, great. Some examples here is the team completed the project ahead of schedule. So we expected the project to be completed October 2026, and the team completed it in July 2026. The team completed the project ahead of schedule. Fantastic. So this is good. If you are interviewing for a position and they ask you, of course, about your previous experience and some great things you've done with your previous company and some wins you've had, you can say, I managed my team very well. Often we would complete projects ahead of schedule. And I mean, every manager wants to hear that. Every hiring manager wants to hear that. I mean, be careful how much you say this. They'll just give you more work, but it's very good. Or someone touches base with you. To touch base with someone means to contact them briefly or quickly. So your manager touches base with you on a project you're working on. And you can say, oh, we're currently ahead of schedule on this, which just means everything's ready. Everything's ready. We're prepared. We expect it to be ready in 2 days from now. It's already ready. And so now if people can kind of relax, going, okay, it won't be a last minute thing. So this really puts people at ease. To put people at ease is to make them feel relaxed and confident and not worry about things. So if you have a massive launch, a massive project, a massive undertaking at work, and you have a couple different teams involved, and that team, the different teams are coming together to kind of do like a meeting on where you're at, touch base on where they're at with each part of the project. If your department says, yeah, we're currently ahead of schedule, oh God, people are going to love you. It just means, okay, I won't worry about that part. I won't worry about that part of the project or that team. So if you're ahead of a schedule, tell people it's good, especially if you're working and collaborating with teams. And the last one here, the report was submitted ahead of schedule. So for example, finance is running a report for the CFO, and the CFO wanted this report done by midweek, and the finance team got it to him Monday morning. Midweek is Wednesday. And if they submitted the report ahead of schedule, it's their Monday morning. So it just shows that people are on the ball. On the ball means they're completely focused on the task and doing things quickly and efficiently. So fantastic. And again, you don't want to say before schedule, it's simply not used in English. Okay, so the next ones here all have time in them because how can we talk about time management without including the noun time? Everything's about time. Okay, the first one is keep track of time. Keep track of time. You probably know this one, but again, a lot of people will make a mistake saying control the time, look at the time. And look at the time means like to look at your watch or to look at a clock on your computer. But no, keep track of time means to be aware of how much time is passing, to monitor time. So keep track of time is to monitor, to be aware of the time. So some examples here, she always keeps track of time during meetings. Oh, isn't that the best person to run a meeting? Is someone who keeps track of time. So you're in a meeting and whoever's chairing, to chair like what you sit in, as a verb, it means to lead a meeting. So like chairman, that's where it comes from. So if she's chairing a meeting and she realizes there's 5 minutes left, okay, sorry, no more time for questions. I'm going to do a quick wrap up and review of what we discussed today. So she's very much keeping track of time. So to keep track of time during meetings, she's controlling the time. She's aware of the time. She's constantly looking at the clock and not going over time. Or use a timer, keep track of time. So if you work in manufacturing and you're in the manufacturing line, the production line, there's going to be a timer there. They're going to really time how fast you put together each of the pieces that go to the larger part, or when you're manufacturing something. Let's say you're manufacturing pens, right? There's going to be a set time that's allocated, that's allowed for each person to physically put together a pen. So use a timer to keep track of time, to monitor, to make sure the time doesn't go over. And I lost track of time while preparing the slides. This is interesting. To lose track of time. So if you track time, you're aware of it. If you lose track of time, this is a bit of an idiom here with the collocations. And lose track of time just means you were so focused on something that you didn't keep track of time. That's what it means. So you lose track of time. I lost track of time while preparing the slides. I didn't keep track of time. That's a pretty common one. I mean, this happens a lot. If you're in a meeting and you're really enjoying this meeting and you're really networking really well with people and having great conversations, talking about ideas for next year, you're brainstorming, it's very easy to lose track of time because you didn't keep track of time. So that's an opposite there. Okay, and again, when it comes to mistakes, you don't say control the time. You don't say look at the time. Look at the time literally means look at your watch, look at your phone, and to see what time it is. Okay, next one is allocate time. And to allocate means to pin or find an exact time for something. So to allocate time, we need to allocate time for training. So this is going to be to put in your schedule an exact time for something. So we need to allocate time for training once a week, which means we need to find and set a time, allocate time. We say allocate time for something. So we need to set a time for training. No, we need to allocate time for training. So it's going to be put into everyone's schedule. She allocated 2 hours for reviewing the report. So there's a report that came back and it has to be reviewed. And you want to have enough time to thoroughly go through that report. Thoroughly means really detailed. And so you want to allocate 2 hours to go through that report. 1 hour is not going to be enough. 3 hours is going to be too much. 2 hours should do it. Should do it means should be sufficient. So she's going to allocate 2 hours to review the report, which means in her schedule, it says that she's booked for 2 hours. You can't contact her. She can't make a meeting with her. She's completely allocated at that time. It's like reserved. A restaurant can allocate a table for you, or a hotel could allocate a room. We don't say allocate a table or room, but it means the same thing. It's like reserve. Okay, and managers should allocate time for team discussions. So of course, a manager can't just manage. The manager also has to discuss with their teams and find out what's happening on the ground, find out what's happening in client-facing areas, find out what's happening in the offices. So making sure that managers do allocate time for team discussions to find out what's happening. It can't all be like, this is your work and do it. This is your work and do it. No, they need to allocate time to find out what's happening at a ground level. And again, you don't want to make a mistake. You don't want to say give time to. This is, I mean, it's not a wrong collocation, it's incredibly formal and it's just simply not used. So you wouldn't say we want to give time to training this week. It would just sound so strange to anyone. This pretty formal older English is not used very much. So allocate time to training. Okay, and allocate time. I hope that you find time to allocate to your English studies. I mean, I live in Spain, and I find it so hard to allocate time to my Spanish studies. So I mean, I teach English. I teach the importance of constantly reviewing language and to constantly study the language to kind of keep your level higher and keep your progress going up and up and up. And but as a student, I understand it's really hard between work and life and family to allocate time for things like study, things that don't bring you money, right? Or you don't feel like it's necessary. Studying a language can be an extra for a lot of people. But if you do allocate the time and you put in the time to English learning, it will help you. So I hope you do manage to allocate time for English studies. Okay, and the very last one here is devote time to. Very similar to allocate time. Allocate time just means in my schedule, these 2 hours are for this. In my morning, I allocate 30 minutes to going for a run, whatever. I mean, it just means like I schedule that time, I allocate that time for that. Now, to devote time to means you dedicate hours or effort to something. So, talking about English learning, I mean, if you're watching my videos and learning with me, you probably have devoted years of time to English learning. So if you devote time, you dedicate hours, you dedicate years, you dedicate your effort to something. I'll give you some examples here. He devoted time to developing his leadership skills. So let's say Alexei wanted to go up in his career, but he just did not have leadership skills. So he devoted time to developing his leadership skills. So he took courses after work. He took courses over the weekend. He watched instructional videos. He talked with people. He networked with people. He did training on this. So he dedicated hours or his extra effort or time to something. So devote time to developing his leadership skills. We devote time to training the new staff. So let's say you're working with a new company, or sorry, interviewing with a new company, and you say, listen, what is the onboarding process? Because my previous company really had a short onboarding process, and then I was kind of left to figure everything out, and I didn't appreciate that. So does your company have, quite a good onboarding process? Onboarding is that training. You bring someone when they come on board, which means to start a new job, the training you give them so they know what to do in their role and how the company functions and who to talk to if they have any questions, and how to use the technology, etc., how to do the job. So if you say we devote time to training new staff, the HR manager can say, no, we do devote time to training new staff. We devote a week and a half to your onboarding, to your training. So it's not just one day and then go figure it out for yourself. No, they devote time. So they put in extra effort. They dedicate hours or weeks of time to do this. Another one, she devotes time to client relationships. So anyone who works in sales, anyone who works in client management, I mean, you have to take care of those relationships, just like you take care of your personal relationships. You call your friends now and again, you call your family now and again. I mean, you have to take care of relationships. The same thing goes with business. So she devotes time to client relationships outside of all the other tasks she has. She makes sure that she checks in with them, every Friday at 3 o'clock. She's definitely going to make that extra effort to say, oh, how's everything going? Are you happy with this? Do you have any questions? Can I help you with anything? So devoting time to doing something a little extra is very important. Now, some people do make the mistake with devote time to. They will say spend time in, and that's the wrong preposition. You can spend time on something, but that does not mean the same thing as devote time to. If you spend time on something, you're just literally stating a fact. I will spend, 1 hour on recording this video for you. So I'm just saying as a fact, I just spent 1 hour recording this video for you, and then hours and hours editing, and then etc. But I'm spending 1 hour. recording this video for you. Now, if I say I devote 1 hour, I devote time to doing this video, it means I'm dedicating this time. There's way more importance to this. So, for example, I will spend time recording this video, but I will devote time to my videos and to my students, which means I put an extra effort. I dedicate myself and my time to it. So spend time on something, not in, or to do something. To spend time, just it's just fact. Spend time doing this. Spend time on this. But you devote time, it's kind of from the heart, it's through dedication, and there's a little level of effort involved there. Okay, we have our last two here, and then we'll go into our quiz as promised. So the last two about time management also include time. The first one here is time flies. And this is an idiom, but it's a very common expression. It just means time flies. Time goes by faster than I expected it to, or time goes by quickly. This is a very common expression to say, I don't know, after a holiday, and everyone's back at work. Oh, time flies. That holiday went very, very quickly. Or I can't believe it's already Friday. It feels like it's Tuesday. Time flies. And this is how we use it. I'll give you some examples here. Time flies when you're busy at work. Don't we know this, right? When you're busy, time goes by incredibly fast. When you're unhappy, when you're bored, time does not fly. And that's when you want time to fly, but it doesn't. So time flies when you're busy. Next one, the meeting was so engaging that time flew by. We've all been in those situations where a meeting was fantastic. A conference was fantastic. A discussion was fantastic. And you're like, wow, like how did 2 hours pass? It felt like it's been 30 minutes. So time flies because the meeting was so engaging, or the meeting was so engaging that time flew by. You can conjugate fly there. Or another example here is time flies during brainstorming sessions. So brainstorming sessions are full of energy. If you have a lot to share and you're excited about your colleagues' input and different people's ideas, then you can say, time flies during these brainstorming sessions. Just means time goes by so quickly. A really common mistake a lot of students make is time runs fast. No, we don't say that at all. I mean, it makes sense if you say time runs fast, over the summer or over vacations, people will understand what you're meaning, but it's completely incorrect. It's going to bring their perception and idea of your English a lot down because it's not a collocation. Time flies. So I hope for you, time flies during a busy week, but time doesn't fly over the weekend when you're relaxing. Although usually time does fly on the weekends, but so be it. That's life. Okay, and the very last one we have here is run out of time. So this is fantastic. If you're working with online meetings and someone brings up a question, or you realize you're getting to the end of your 1 hour, which you've allocated for this meeting, you say, listen, we've run out of time. Okay, this just means that there's no more time left to finish something. So if things are finished, okay, everyone, we're all done. Let's go. Thank you. But if there's more to do, more to discuss, someone asks a question at the end of the meeting, you can say, sorry, we've run out of time. So to run out of time, it just means you have no time left to finish something. So you're working on a project, you really wanted to finish the project by Friday so you could relax and forget about it over the weekend, but you didn't do it. You ran out of time. You couldn't finish it by Friday. You'll have to finish it on Monday. That's just life. So it's some examples here is we ran out of time in the presentation. Well, this happens. So maybe you have 30 minutes for your presentation. Your company has a fantastic new product you want to sell and present to the board or to investors. And if you have 30 minutes allocated for that presentation and you did not manage your time very well, you can say we ran out of time. So maybe you only have 30 minutes and you say, now, any questions, anybody? But you've gone to 29 minutes. There's no time for those questions. So it's very important to manage your time in presentations, not run out of time, because that's not very good in a presentation. Next one is she ran out of time before answering all the questions, just like my example there. So if you're having a meeting, does anyone have any questions? Oh yeah, I have a question here. Okay. And so let's say 3 people have questions. You're doing an online meeting, you've got 5 minutes left in your online meeting. And you want to respect people's time and not go over your meeting. So you have 5 minutes left, and three people have questions. You think, okay, 3 minutes or three questions, 5 minutes, that's doable. Doable means manageable. I can answer all those questions within 5 minutes, no problem. But if the first question comes and it's complex and you can't answer it quickly, well, you're going to run out of time. You can't answer the other people's questions. Or you answer that person's question and they put another question on top of that. If you answer them, you're going to run out of time. You won't be able to get to the next question. So you can say, sorry, Peter, I saw your question there. We've run out of time. Please email me and I'll send you a response to that. Or let's circle back to that next meeting. Circle back means to go back to a question or topic. So we'll come back to that next meeting. So if you run out of time, that happens. Or we're running out of time to complete the project. So your department's working on a project and you have a deadline. And if the deadline is approaching, which means the deadline's coming towards you, which is a really descriptive way of a deadline approaching. I mean, obviously you're going towards a deadline, but still we say it's approaching. So the deadline is approaching and you're running out of time to complete the project, which just means time is your enemy. You have to work a lot faster. A lot of mistakes people make here is lose the time. No, we don't say that at all. We just say you're running out of time, and you don't say finish time. You can say the time has finished for this meeting, but that's such basic English. Don't say that. If you're upper intermediate to advanced level English speaker, don't say time has finished for this meeting. I mean, the grammar is fine. The English is fine. It's so basic. Just say we have run out of time, or we're running out of time, or time has run out. That also works. Okay, now we've gone through a lot of these great collocations about time management. Now I'm going to give you a little bit of a quiz. I'm going to read a sentence for you, and I'm going to leave out some of the collocation. And you're going to have to go through and listen and try to identify which word is missing and say it with that correct word. And of course, I will go through and I will give you the answers, and I'll show you the answers here on screen. Now, as you're doing this quiz, anything that's difficult for you, fine. I mean, it takes a long time to really remember these collocations. Again, there's no rules. So really lock in your learning through repetition. This is called drilling. And drilling, not like the dentist or looking for oil, drilling is learning something through repetition. So as you go through this, if you get a couple wrong, no big deal, no problem. Just go back in the video to that one collocation, listen to it. Good, you got it. Go back to the quiz, redo the quiz, and just keep redoing the quiz until you get to 100%. Then you can confidently say you've locked in the learning. You remember this collocation correctly. Now, again, I've mentioned before, I'm going to go into the comments and I'm going to upload a PDF of this quiz and all the collocations and examples which I've used in this video. So you can definitely go ahead and you can download it and you'll be able to work with it as well. Okay, let's jump right in. Okay, the first one, she worked late to a deadline. She worked late to a deadline. You work late to a deadline. So you have a deadline for 4 o'clock and she worked late. So she was able to submit what she needed to submit for 4 o'clock. So she worked late to meet a deadline. Work late to meet a deadline. Next one, we completely out of time during the meeting. We completely out of time during the meeting. So we needed more time, but we didn't have enough time. We out of time during the meeting. This was one of my last ones there in the video. We completely ran out of time during the meeting. So did you cover all the parts of the agenda? No, we completely ran out of time during the meeting. Ran out of time. Okay, next one. Good managers know how to priorities. Good managers know how to priorities. So this means showing priorities on a list ranked. Number 1, number 2, number 3, not so important. So good managers know how to priorities, to rank them, to prioritize something, set priorities. Good managers know how to set priorities. Next one, the construction behind schedule due to weather delays. The construction behind schedule due to weather delays. So we're building a new wing. A new wing would be like a side or a part of a building. We're building a new wing. Construction behind schedule due to weather delays. So we are behind schedule. What is it? We fell behind schedule. Construction fell behind schedule due to weather delays. Okay, next one. We need to time for training new employees. We need to time for training new employees. So we need to put time in our schedule. What is that? To put time in your schedule, to put time in your timeline for your work, to find the time and to securely put it into your schedule or your plan or your timeline. We need to allocate time for training new employees. We need to allocate time, like reserve, allocate time for training new employees. Next one, using this template can help us time on reports. Using a template can help us time on reports. So use a template. You don't have to create the entire document from the beginning, from scratch. You're going to time making your report. You're going to save time on your report. So using templates can help us save time on reports. You're not wasting time. You're not spending extra time. Okay, next one. He always tries to a schedule no matter what. He always tries to a schedule no matter what. I've got my post-it note and I can right there. Adhere to a schedule. A bit too formal. Not adhere, not glue to a schedule. Stick to a schedule. He always tries to stick to a schedule no matter what. So he adheres, and again, adheres is far too formal, but he sticks to a schedule. He doesn't change it. Next one, if we continue at this pace, we'll be of schedule. If we continue at this pace, and pace is the speed that you're working or walking or speaking, it's the rhythm and the speed. If we continue at this pace, we'll be of schedule. Okay, so it can't be behind schedule because there's no preposition in behind schedule. So again, use your ear, but having those prepositions will give you a clue. If we continue at this pace, we'll be ahead of schedule. I gave it to you too soon. If we continue at this pace, we'll be ahead of schedule. So you're working very productively. You're working quicker and faster than people expected, and you'll be ahead of schedule. Next one, the speaker lost track and began to time telling unrelated stories. The speaker lost track and began to time telling unrelated stories. So the speaker lost track just means they didn't know what they were saying. They didn't manage their time. They didn't manage what they're talking about. And they began to time telling unrelated stories. So people were there listening to hear about the new project that they're going to work on the following year. And they start talking about unrelated stories. So people are not happy because their time is not being well spent. It's useless listening to them. So the speaker lost track of what they were talking about, went off the plan of the presentation, and began to waste time telling unrelated stories. So they were wasting people's time. So people weren't happy about that. Okay, next one. She always finds a way to her time wisely. She always finds a way to her time wisely. So she always finds a way to organize, deal with, control her time wisely. She always finds a way to manage her time wisely. Okay, very good. I hope you're doing well so far. And if you're not, no problem. This takes a long time. I know it's as an adult learner. I mean, when you're a kid, you hear something for the first time, you remember it forever. We're adults. Our brains are busy with 1,000 different things, with work, with learning, with life, with family, with everything, ideas, everything. Our minds are so busy. It takes us longer to learn things. And a lot of students get frustrated saying, gosh, when I was in university, I learned things and remembered them quickly. Well, your only job in university for most people was just to learn. I mean, and your life wasn't that complex in university. So if you're in university learning these, you're probably just breezing through them, remembering them quickly. But if you're an adult learner like I am, and a lot of people who are working in business, I mean, you're going to be in your 20s, 30s, 40s, you're working in business, there's a lot more going on in your brain than just learning. So if it takes you a long time to remember these, don't get frustrated with yourself. You're doing more in life than just learning English. So don't get frustrated, just keep at it and keep going and keep repeating, and one day it will lock in there and you'll get it. So don't be hard on yourself. Okay, let's continue here. Okay, we a deadline because of technical problems. We a deadline because of technical problems. So because of technical problems, something happened because of technical problems. And if we're saying problems, that's a bad thing. So we a deadline. We certainly didn't miss a deadline because of technical problems. That makes no sense at all. So the opposite of meet a deadline is you missed a deadline. So we missed a deadline because of technical problems. So we didn't meet the deadline. We completely missed it. Okay, next one. During the workshop, we completely track of time. During the workshop, we completely track of time. Now you can say, this could be two options. Two options are correct here. If during the workshop you had such a great time, you realize, oh my God, the workshop's over. And we didn't finish everything. We didn't get to the last two modules of the training. Then you lost track of time. If during the workshop you completely stayed on track and stayed on schedule, you monitored that time, you kept track on time. So here, two answers are possible. During the workshop, we completely track of time, lost track of time, kept track of time. Two completely different meanings, but both are possible there. Okay, next one. The phrase flies is used when time passes quickly. The phrase flies is used when time passes quickly. What is it? Flies. Hours flies, clocks flies. No, what is it? Time flies. Time flies. There you go. Good. Okay, we have a few more to go here. We're a deadline. The report is not ready yet. We're a deadline. The report is not ready yet. So the opposite of meeting a deadline. We are a deadline. The report is not ready yet. So opposite of meet a deadline, we are missing a deadline. We are missing a deadline. Okay, next one. The team was so efficient, they finished the project of schedule. We've had this one before in the quiz. The team was so efficient, they finished the project of schedule. Again, of, it's not behind schedule. It's going to be ahead of schedule, ahead of schedule. And the very last one, we had to a deadline due to unexpected server issues. We had to a deadline due to unexpected server issues. So we did not meet the deadline. Opposite of meet deadline, we missed a deadline. We had to miss a deadline due to unexpected server issues. How did you do? I hope you did well. Let me know in the comments how you did on this little quiz. And again, anything you got wrong, no problem. Just go back, listen to it again, come back here and keep testing your learning. Thank you so much for joining me for this video on collocations. If you did enjoy this video, I encourage you to like the video and subscribe to my channel. And let me know in the comments if you have any questions. I really do love getting comments because I can kind of teach you and I can share all my knowledge with you guys. So if you have any questions about different collocations or other parts of English collocation or business English you want me to cover, let me know in the comments and I'll do a video on it. I'm here for you guys. Have a great day, everyone. Thank you.